You really need fast tools to actually give you the results as fast as you think. And without the Mac, there would be no fast iteration of creativity.
Here, it is a building full of people just dedicated to sound. You know, and it's all under one roof.
Before Star Wars, the sound style was fairly synthetic. George Lucas despised that idea. He wanted science fiction films to sound like art.
Band?
That is harder than it sounds.
No!
George had this idea in mind that he called the used future. He wanted everything to sound like it had been used a lot in the real world. It had to feel believable and naturalistic and more or less organic and relatable, but it had this kind of exotic feeling as well that helped you buy that it was happening in a galaxy far, far away.
My very first job here when I was like 22 years old, hot out of college, it was a sound effects librarian. And it was like this really amazing title, right? And I was like, what is this? The sound effects librarian would take all these cool sounds from all the shows. They listen to every single sound and type out the description to recall that sound.
I mean, a lot of us just grew up on Star Wars, and it's definitely kind of central to our legacy. But we work on close to 200 projects a year.
As I open this up today, it looks like there's a little over 720,000 sounds in our Skywalker sound effects library, which is insane. Tron motorcycles. As creative people, you don't want technology to slow you down. When you have a thought and you really got to get it out there on a blank canvas like this, you really need fast tools to actually give you the results as fast as you think. And without SoundMiner, without Pro Tools and that interconnect, and without the Mac, there would be no fast iteration of creativity. So this is a central machine room. The central machine room is basically the brain of all the stage operations here at Skywalker. These boxes up here actually help synchronize all these Macs together so that when they're playing the movie on the stage, all these machines are all playing at the same exact time. So there's really long cables from here to the actual edit bay in the stage. So the editors, when they're working, they're actually controlling the computer here in the central machine room.
Name that tune. The second movie I ever worked on here was Jurassic Park. There hadn't been a dinosaur sound in a movie that sounded like that prior to Jurassic Park. Did everybody get a little tingle? Did that do something? Sound designers actually create sounds from nothing. They're playing. They're playing, they're having fun. They're going out and recording the most weird things that you could think of. And they take those raw sounds and manipulate them and bend them and break them and turn them upside down and see what they get.
My Uncle Kevin gave this to me in my stocking. And I was like, okay, what's this? I'm gonna go ahead and start a session. We are recording. So now, here's what we got. So you can hear that, but let's go a little spaceshipy with it. And let's take it down 10 semitones. That's kind of cool, huh?
Creating is part of why I do this is because it's fun to do that. I like doing that because there's a bit of alchemy to what we do. And it takes you to a whole different place. I mean, there's an element to what I do that is completely unrealistic. And that's kind of the fun part of sound design, is that the real sound is oftentimes not the sound that you're using.
That's a great creature sweetener.
The most exciting part of the creative process is that of discovery, of discovering some idea or coming up with something out of all the material you have, which is really what the mixing is about.
There are all these tiny little story details everywhere that, the sound can keep things like really alive, but there's a bigger picture, and there are like fun moments and emotive moments. There are loud moments, there are silent moments. There are all those moments that are just out of the box.
One of the things that makes sound particularly powerful is that it sneaks in the side door to your brain. And by that I mean it affects you without you really knowing that it's affecting you.
I can hear the bees buzzing and the birds. Sound is a universal language. It changes people's emotions, and people understand sound directly.
Sound folks, we're like tucked away in the background. No one ever sees us. But if you strip away the lightsabers, Darth Vader's breathing, R2-D2's synth chirps, you don't have any defining characters in pop culture. But as soon as you add those sounds back in, if you do your job right, no one will ever know. And I love that.